Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again for Closing the Wealth Gap. The one show, maybe the only show that shows you how to close the wealth gap in your own life with the man who's done it for many, our wealth coach himself, Tyrone French. Hey, Tyrone.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Closing the Wealth Gap. I'm your host, Tyrone French. Hey, before we get started, one thing I want you to do, I want you to go to my website, TyroneFrench.com. I want you to check out some of the free resources and tools that's at that website that can actually change your financial future. That's TyroneFrench.com. Also, I want you to have my business in the palm of your hand. Everybody's got a cell phone today, so all you have to do is text Tyrone French to 36260. That's Tyrone French at 36260. Download my free mobile app, and from there you can actually take a look at my wealth club. And again, you're wealthy when the income from your assets exceeds the outgo from your liabilities and expenses. Let's make that happen. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in my good friend, Mr. Paul Roberts.
I want to join the wealth club here. I got to turn my mic up first. I want to join the wealth club.
You should have been a member last decade, a decade ago.
Isn't that the truth? The rich get richer, and the rest of us, they're in the wealth club. We're not.
Yeah, and the poor get poorer. But again, it's all by design. Everything is happening exactly the way it's supposed to happen.
According to who? To God or to the powers that be? Or?
Well, it's according to the economics the economic system and the currency monetary policies that's set up in the United States. It's running. It's a well-oiled machine that's running exactly. And I'll give you the proof.
Okay.
The rich are getting richer.
I told you, Orange County, we're doing this in the middle of August here, 2025, for those who listen in the future. And Orange County Business Journal comes out with a new article focusing on the billionaires in Orange County, of which there are many now. And they said, cumulatively, their wealth went up 40%.
So if you're wealthy, does that sound like a problem?
I didn't go up 40%. A lot of people are saying it went down 40%, you know.
But again, if you're wealthy, that's not a problem. Now, here's the thing. A lot of that is it's like a paper tiger, meaning that you're wealthy on paper.
Clearly. Their stock went up, their houses went up.
Exactly. But the banks look at that as far as collateral.
And that's what I never got. So, because I'd say, okay, so my house went up or whatever, who cares? I mean, I care if I sell it someday. That's a piggy bank, but it fluctuates. It goes up and down.
Right.
My son-in-law was talking about his 401k at the bank he works for.
Right.
And he said, I don't even look at it. He said, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. I'm not worried about it. And so he's just hoping someday it pays off. But you're saying it's an asset today that can be borrowed against or used for other, maybe not the 401k, but other sorts of things?
Well, actually, yeah, 401k can be used as far as first-time home buyers.
There you go.
College education. If you lose your job, if you have medical expenses. So it's an asset, it's a resource there that's available to you that a lot of people don't have.
And you've always talked about insurance the same way. That's something you can borrow against or do things with.
Absolutely. But again, if you have the money to purchase these financial vehicles, you're in a great position.
You're in the wealth club already.
So you hear right. So you hear people talk about just like you hear Trump talk about, he wants to lower interest rates.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And every economist will say, well, why are you trying to lower interest rates right now?
The economy's booming. You don't make it. That'll just throw more fuel on the fire.
Because if your assets are increasing, meaning that your wealth is increasing exponentially, and now again a paper tiger, so those aren't realized assets until you do something with them.
Right.
So again, you go to a financial institution and say, hey, we're going to loan you X amount of money based on your stock increasing. So guess what? Do you want to borrow money at a high interest rate or a lower interest rate? Or lower interest rate. So you're basically getting free money. And so now you're borrowing money with a very low interest rate and you're investing it and getting a higher return.
Yeah.
And even the tax structure based on ordinary income tax and capital gains is totally different. So again, the rich keep getting richer and the poor and the middle class, they're getting poorer because they can't play that same game.
Yeah. Well, you are going to teach us today, particularly one group that doesn't feel like they're even in the game. They're not in the conversation at all, and that's veterans. I don't know why.
Well, see, here's the thing. When they start talking about DEI, and a lot of people talk about DEI, and they try to put a racial component on it. without understanding that you have what's called preferential treatment based on hiring practices for veterans. Veterans fall under that category of DEI.
That's
so
right.
guess what happened? A lot of them lost their jobs.
Wow. I didn't know, because we're tending to think just as a racial component, but it's also feminine, women and sexual.
Women, yeah. Yeah,
diversity. We want to get a wider swath of people in the wealth club, not just the old wealthy white guys that were standing behind Trump at the inauguration here.
Well, again, when you put a racial component on it, you miss the overall emphasis of what it was designed to do.
Yeah.
And again, when you talk about affirmative action actually benefited white women more so than any other race. When you talk about DEI hires, a lot of women were hired under DEI.
Absolutely. Spread the wealth. Bring in more people into the club.
Exactly. So again, when you talk about government and the government being downsized, what a lot of people don't associate that downsizing is with a lot of veterans that applied for those government jobs.
Ah, okay. So we're going to see more veterans on the streets. Fewer, harder to get employed.
Well, here's the thing: they realized what they did, so they're trying to reverse that trend, and they're trying to hire a lot of these people back. But the damage was done, because here's the thing: they even had a program called the VAST program for veterans, meaning that VAST means if you went into foreclosure on your property,
okay,
what the VA would do is they would actually go in, they would purchase that mortgage for that veteran.
What?
They would restructure it and lower the interest rate and create the payments so that veteran could actually afford to stay in that house.
Never heard that.
It was under the Biden administration. And again, I'm not getting into what administration is good or bad or whatever, but I'm just saying some of these things happen under Biden, some of them will happen under Trump. So when they started firing all of these veterans, guess what happened? They couldn't pay their mortgages. So again, the VA said, oh, shoot, wait a minute. We created a nightmare here. So now they created another program for veterans. And so now if a veteran is 3 months late on their mortgage, the VA, they just established another program to whereas they will literally step in and they'll do two things. They'll give the veteran a grant for those 3 missed mortgage payments, or which is for me a better option, they're going to take those 3 missed payments and put them on the back of the mortgage.
Right.
Yeah. And so let's say you never pay off those 3 missed payments on the back of the mortgage, but you sell your property. Well, those three missed payments will be absorbed in the cost of selling the property.
So we've talked about it many times. You've done many shows about this topic. We're just kind of hit a lightning ground of some things. Why are veterans who seemingly, we have all these veterans benefits and all these programs and enticements to get into the military, and even sometimes even pay you a bonus to get in and all this kind of stuff. Veterans come out not ready to play the wealth game.
Because they lack the information. Not only do they lack the information, they lack the understanding, and then they feel like, and this is I call this a psyop, or like a psychological warfare. They feel like they don't deserve the benefits.
Isn't that weird? I've heard people say that before, other guests that have been in here. I didn't apply because I wasn't that injured. I wasn't that bad. I don't want to be like one of those guys. I'm sucking off the system.
And this is what I tell people. You know what? You signed a contract. You raised your hand. And you took an oath to defend the United States, or the Constitution of the United States of America, from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And you fulfilled your obligation. You have a DD-214. You have a certificate that says you served honorably or other than honorably. Mm-hmm. But again, as long as you don't have a dishonorable discharge, you're entitled to receive benefits from the VA. Mm-hmm. And so again, people don't. Because I work in finance,
right.
You know, my whole background is financial planning.
Right.
I understand the numbers. So again, imagine you don't have to pay for health care because it's already established under the VA.
Right.
If you're looking at the veteran and their spouse and their family, we're talking about maybe $2,000, $2,500 a month for health care. That you're not
have to pay.
You're not paying into it. Meaning that even if you do have go into a program like whether it's Champ VA or TRICARE or something, the cost share of those programs are so minimum that you don't even feel it.
Right.
Out-of-pocket cost is extremely low. So when you equate that to based on what you'd be spending in the civilian side versus what you're getting from the military side, those savings are astronomical.
So you
over
should
time.
be ahead of the game.
You should
then.
be ahead of the game. So even with housing, if you find a veteran that's homeless, there are tons of programs, not just with the VA, but with nonprofits that
Yeah.
can literally assist veterans to get them into housing.
And in some cases, even furniture. What's the name of it?
Exactly.
Can't think of it.
Even they will help you with your furnishings.
Right.
So, but again, so the issue is why don't
Patriots
veterans?
and Paws, as they were in here. They'll help you get furniture to fill up your place too.
Yeah. So why don't veterans do it? I liken it to, let's say if you're bankrupt
Okay.
and you don't know. I mean, you're bankrupt, you're destitute. You look at your net worth. Your net worth is negative.
Why are you looking at me as you say
But
that? You've been talking to somebody?
but check this out, Paul. Imagine now you find out that you could have walked into the bank and they were waiting for you to come into the bank and file a claim. And they said, "Hey, we've been a caretaker of this money.
Where you been?
Just waiting for you to come in
Yeah.
and file a claim."
Yeah.
Where, like you said, where have you been? And a lot of veterans think that, well, I don't deserve the benefits, or maybe, I wasn't injured enough. My disability rating is going to be low, yada, yada, yada. Well, put it to you like this. When you're on active duty military, I was around jet aircraft. And I was on aircraft carrier when I was in the Army. It was field artillery. So I was around a lot of noise.
You were in two services. Someday you're going to tell me why you were in two services now. You're the only person in the world I've ever met that served twice in two different services.
Yeah, well, I had to go back for the Kool-Aid, man. I like cherry Kool-Aid, so what can I tell you? But anyway, case in point, I have tinnitus or tenderness in my right ear,
Right.
and hearing loss. That's a 10% disability rating with the VA. So it automatically came with like $138 in a check every single month. Whoop-de-doo, that's not a whole lot of money. But if you didn't need that as far as a set aside, I'll give you an example. When Bitcoin back in 2009, 2010, something like that, I had $100. Friend of mine had passed away. Her brother had passed away, who was actually in the Army, and I decided that, hey, look, I got an extra $100 here, and I wasn't expecting this $100, so I can do two things. I can purchase Bitcoin, which was like at the time $1 per Bitcoin,
$1.
or I could take this $100 and I can buy flowers for the family, and make a really good gesture. Well, fast forward, I'm kicking myself in the butt because I could have purchased 100 Bitcoin for the same amount that I bought those flowers
And
with.
in 2025, it just hit a record high, I think 125,000 for each one of those.
Per coin.
Yeah.
Per coin. But again, that I'm not taking anything away from, like as far as being benevolent and helping people and stuff like
Right.
that. But I'm just saying, based on having information and knowledge or
We
lack
piss
of it.
money away. I'm sorry to say it that way. All the time. That wasn't pissing. We did something nice. You bought flowers, but we piss money away all the time. Even if you don't have a lot of money, I buy coffee at Starbucks every day. I whoop it up for dinner. I go to a football game and say I'm going to be a big shot and sit in the big seat. And I'm not saying you can't enjoy life, but there are places we could save and take that if we knew what to do with it.
But here's my point. Understanding that if it's $138 or $140 or $150 or $200, you have this it's a concept called dollar cost averaging.
Right.
So if you're purchasing Bitcoin, the best way to purchase Bitcoin is through dollar cost averaging. You're not worried about the price going up. You're not worried about the price going down. You're just consistently investing a certain dollar amount.
Some high, some low. The average is it's worth it.
Doesn't matter.
Put this into
So
it.
you're not looking at Bitcoin going up and down because, again, you're investing money that you can afford to lose. So it doesn't matter. It's just a constant trajectory as far as going up. See, the trend is our friend. So
Trend is our friend.
yeah, so as long as you're consistently adding a certain dollar amount, just like Warren Buffett said, you're doing it for the long term. You're not just like your friend with the 401k and he put money in, he's not even taking advantage, he's not even looking at it.
Right.
That's how it should be. And so on average, you're not looking at where the Bitcoin is at 150,000 or 80,000. You're looking at the percentage is what it's giving you.
Right.
It's the percentage. So if putting your money in the bank is giving you a negative 1% versus taking your money and putting it into some place where you're getting 5% or 10%, then the return on that is a lot better.
Yeah. So why are veterans not doing this? You should be saving. You're in the service, you said, because you don't have any housing. You don't have any medical. You don't have any meals. They're paying all this. So you should be squirreling that money away that the rest of us on the outside have to pay for rent, for meals, for things. It's like that's insurance. Why don't they walk? They should walk out wealthy.
Well, see, here's the thing. On average, a veteran is getting maybe a 30 or 40% disability rating. So that equates to about $1,000 or $1,500 a month.
That's after they get. But I'm saying even while they're in the service, why aren't they squirreling it all away?
Because they don't know. So that's why we're having this podcast. So see, what I want veterans to do, whoever's listening to this podcast, if you have a veteran, or somebody on active duty that you know, your loved ones,
call them.
Get this podcast in their hand. I want them to go to TyroneFrench.com. Call my office. My toll-free number, matter of fact, doesn't cost you any money. Toll-free, 877-296-5192. I'm going to repeat it, 877-296-5192.
Or download the app if you don't want to. You're not ready to talk. Just look at it, listen, read up.
You can text Tyrone French at 36260. That's my app. And again, you will have all this information in the palm of your hand, but call me. I don't care if you got to notify me through carrier pigeon. Get in touch with me.
Do they still have those on the carrier pigeons? I didn't know if they still have those out there at sea.
But my point is, get in touch with me. Get in touch with. I can put you in touch with certain individuals that can help you start this process. And here's the thing: the VA doesn't make it easy in the beginning, and I get that. And that's why a lot of veterans they quit during the process.
Paperwork, confusing.
But if you look at this as far as a long-term investment. And don't quit, because again, let's say if your process took 6 months or even a year or even a year and a half, once you start their claim, they give you back pay. Mm-hmm. So some veterans, when they receive their first check, it could be $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
Can I disclose maybe you don't want to disclose this, but you did once before, so I'm going to take advantage of that. You yourself, after serving twice in 2 different military services, came out and said, I'm too tough. I don't need this. I'm not going to do this. And it took you a while to get in.
Yeah, I fell into that same trap. I fell into the same category. And it wasn't until a Force Master Chief Petty Officer that I had the utmost respect for grabbed me by my shirt collar and said, French, you need to do this.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, my focus changed, and I started looking at the VA and their benefits, and I thought, my God, I should have done this years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm just offering the same wake-up call that I had to my veteran brothers and sisters. And if you don't know where to start, call me, contact me, and we'll get you going.
Okay. All right. Any other words of advice? Sounds like some powerful words. This is an intervention, right?
Well, again, there's nothing else that I can say on this. Just, call me. Just go to download my app, send me a text message, something, and we're going to help you to start this program. And I just want you to remember that Tyrone French is closing the wealth gap.
That's our show for this week. Closing the Wealth Gap. The one show, the only show that shows you how to take control of your financial future. Right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OCTalkRadio.net.